Our children, our future, our community, our Bermuda. We need an inclusive and culturally responsive public education system that prepares learners to thrive and lead in Bermuda's future. The Ministry of Education presents Building Bridges.
Good evening, Bermuda, and welcome back to Building Bridges, Education Reform Bermuda. Tonight, we continue our journey with Building Bridges. The future of learning is here with Signature Schools, where we will delve into the programs offered within the Signature Schools and Signature Learning programs. We'll also discuss how students and parents can make informed choices about selecting appropriate signatures.
Don't go anywhere. Building Bridges, Education Reform Bermuda will be right back.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
Signature learning programs draw on all of our community assets to ensure that learning is authentic and connected.
Through engagement with teachers, students, parents, and community partners, we have created a vision for how we want learning to be for our students of today. Learning that incorporates real-world, authentic experiences and meaningful projects that is attentive to the needs of each and every child.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
Welcome back to the program.
Selecting a program for senior school is a huge process for students along with their parents. Today, we have Leanne Simmons of the Education Reform Unit, who's going to talk to us about that process, as well as what students will uncover during their discovery process. Leanne, welcome to Building Bridges.
Thank you for having me.
So I'd like for you to explain to our audience what the key features and goals of signature learning programs are and how they will impact students' educational experiences in Bermuda.
So our signature learning programs, at the end of the day, we want our young people to be positioned to take any position in the field of their career, their choice. Bermuda needs our young people to think about the future, so we need to start getting them ready. And it starts in preschool.
Absolutely, all the way through, correct?
Correct.
So what strategies are in place to ensure that students and parents have comprehensive information about what's available to them in our various signature programs and how they align with our students' interests and passions?
Yeah. So we have this wonderful thing called a signature taster program.
Okay.
So, when you get a taste of something, you don't get the full thing, but you get enough of it to say, yes or no, right? When you get that
I want more of that, and I don't like that.
Exactly. So the taster program has 5 modules that we are taking now we will be adding our P7 students. So our P7, M1, M2, and M3 are at different stages of this taster program.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's designed to get our students thinking. So module 1 is when the school counselor will meet with them. They'll do a career interest inventory. They'll talk about their strengths, their passions, what they're interested in, and align that with careers. So that's module 1. Now, currently we have 6 signature learning programs that we are exposing our students to. And so our advisors, and I just want to say a big thank you to our middle school advisors. They are really being the troopers to get information to our students on these 6 signature learning programs: trades and professions, STEAM, because we're adding the arts, health and social care, finance and insurance services, hospitality and tourism, and education. So in module 2, our students are learning about those signature learning programs. Then we step into module 3, and that's discovery. So it's not just about learning in the classroom. That's when we get together with our learning partners, our community persons, and they come and they make it real for our students. Like, what is it really like to be in this field? So our students discover, right? They are getting a taste of each of those 6 learning programs, and they learn more about it. They have, you heard about our 3 E's?
Tell me about them.
Okay. First E, expose.
Okay.
Expose, exposure. Second, exploration. And third, experience. So throughout our students' years, they're going to have exposures, exploration opportunities, and experiences to really get into this signature learning program, right? So our students will be exposed and they'll get some experience during discovery time. Now this year, first year for really getting into discovery, we did some prototyping in May, saw what could work and what couldn't, had some awesome community partners give our students some really good experiences and exposures. So this year, each middle school will have a day, and on campus, our students, our M3 students, they will get to go to 6 sessions. So 1 session for each signature, and they'll get to learn about each signature. At the end of the day, I want them to say, this is not for me, I don't like that taste. And this is, I really want to find more about that. So that's module 3. Module 4 is now immersion. They got to go a little bit deeper because, again, we got to kind of weed things out and say, I got to make a choice about signature school. What choice am I going to make? So we're planning an immersion fair. Again, our learning partners, shout out to WordCamp who said, yes, again, we can have our fair there. And at this fair, our students are going to be asked to choose 3 signatures that they really want to get more experience with. And our learning partners will help with that. They'll go to the fair and really get a little deeper dive in. And then at that time, we now get them ready for an open house. So Berkeley and Cedar Bridge are planning open houses. So students can get a feel for what the school is like and the program is like. So again, all to help them make a decision. And then Module 5. Module 5 is, okay, we've had modules 1, 2, 3, 4. How we integrate all of this information? How do we say, oh goodness, there was a lot. Break it down, evaluate. I was meeting with M1 students today and I was talking to them about their decision-making process. They gotta stop, they gotta think about their options, they gotta choose. How do you choose a signature school? So they sit in Module 5, they sit with their parents, guardians, and their school counselor, and they reflect. And the students have to say, I am choosing trades and professions because I really love working with cars. I really love working with bikes. I am good with my hands. They have to kind of tell us why. Why are you choosing that? Can I believe you? They have to convince their parents.
Absolutely. Because, this is a transformation for everybody, And parents have to maybe take a back seat and know it's not you have to go here and do this, but really children advocating for themselves and having that agency.
Absolutely.
The conversation will continue in a moment.
Welcome to Education Reform 101, a series where we break down all your questions about Bermuda's education reform process. One common question is about the curriculum. Here's what you need to know. Teachers, subject matter experts, and community members have been working together to revise the curriculum that is offered in parish primary and signature senior schools. Yes, the Creative Curriculum, CCK, and the Cambridge International Education, CIE curriculum will remain in preschool and primary settings, but it has been developed, updated, and made more meaningful by designing learning experiences that are integrated, hands-on, and real-world where appropriate for students in parish primary schools. In senior schools, curriculum development is underway in core, encore, and signature learning program courses. This includes using various internationally recognized board curriculums as decided by schools that are aligned with each school's signature learning programs and the new graduation requirements. By focusing here, this ensures students can follow a range of different pathways based on their passions and interests that give them additional options beyond high school. As we continue to develop the curriculum, we will keep you updated. To learn more about education reform in Bermuda, please visit www.learningfirstbda.com or follow @LearningFirstBDA on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, or Facebook.
Hey Bermuda, are you ready to make a difference in our young people's lives? The Education Reform Unit is on the lookout for passionate educators and community champions just like you. Join our school transformation team and be a part of revolutionizing public education in Bermuda. help shape signature schools and parish primary schools that will transform our public school system. Ready to make a change? Contact us today at www.learningfirstbda.com or email schoolredesign@moed.bm. Let's build a brighter future for Bermuda's youth together.
Welcome back to the program.
These modules sound absolutely fabulous, really rich and rigorous for our young people. Are there any other type of support systems that are going to be available to parents or the students in terms of that decision-making process?
Yeah, so we're always open to conversations with parents. We are inviting parents to our discovery events, to the open houses where they can ask plenty of questions. They will be, of course, part of the parent-student meeting. So the support as far as, you will have some students or parents who aren't sure. And so, yeah, we'll sit with you. We'll talk to you. We'll kind of alleviate any anxieties or, answer the questions. So definitely that support as far as at the senior schools. If they have any questions about the programs, we have persons at each senior school who can answer questions about the programs they provide. That's why it's very important to have the open house as part of this process so they can hear from the people who are actually delivering the program. What's it like? What does it feel like to be here? What's your vision for this? So, yeah.
Excellent. And so I just want to thank you at this time, Leanne, because I think you've given us some insight that we're not just having these signature learning programs in our schools, that there is a whole process and opportunity for both students and parents to be a part of with the signature discovery programs and all of our modules. Do you have any final words to share with our audience about the idea of choice for our students?
Well, I really hope that our parents are watching and really wanting to just be a big part of this process. We plan to be at PTA meetings, work with, getting messages out, maybe, as many places as we can be where parents are, because, we want them to support what their children are doing. So any way that we can, parents engage. That's
and we're here to engage
and
with
they're
them.
here.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Call me, Lea Simmons at gov.bm. I'm here. I'm willing to sit as well. But yeah, we need our parents on board. You hinted at it earlier, but to support the process and support their children and encourage their children. Spend time talking with their children about what they want. I know our parents spend whatever budget they have, their time, and just investing in their children and getting them to think about the future. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Leanne Simmons, one of our leads at the Education Reform Unit. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
We will be right back.
Important to know what skills do you need to have.
The Signature Taster Program, a groundbreaking initiative designed by Bermuda's exceptional educators and education specialists, supports our young people 11 to 14 years old in unlocking their full potential and taking charge of their educational journey.
I want to learn how to hold children in Bermuda.
We've left no stone unturned to ensure this program achieves its aim.
From there, education became more fun for me.
The Signature Taster Program is the passport to confidently selecting a signature school that perfectly aligns with our students' strengths, passions, values, and ambitions.
Anybody have any questions?
We believe every student deserves an opportunity to cultivate a sense of agency and to be in control of their future. That's why the Signature Taster Program plays a pivotal role in empowering our young people to make informed choices about their educational path.
They're all have different diets. So that's Truffle's the biggest one in the back. She's the one who likes to throw tantrums. They're very fast, yeah. So if they hear our voice, they're going for the target. Say, no, it's lunchtime. So I'll go over and I'll feed them a little bit and I'll stage something.
We have 5 dynamic modules carefully designed to awaken our students' potential as they discover new passions, explore their talents, and uncover opportunities awaiting them. We believe in nurturing the leaders of tomorrow and encourage them to find their path and embrace their journey in the Signature Taster program.
Is a trail that tells the stories of people of African descent that have been spread across the globe as a result of slavery. We look at the history, these markers tell the stories of...
For more information, visit the Education Reform website at www.learningfirstbda.com or email schoolredesign@moed.pm.
In studio today, we have Stacey Lee Williams, Executive Director of CURB and a member of the Cultural Responsiveness and Inclusivity Work Stream at the Education Reform Unit. Welcome, Stacey, to Building Bridges.
Good day, Laurel.
Good day. So can you share with us your role in the Cultural Responsiveness and Inclusivity Work Stream at ERU?
Yes, first of all, it is an honor to have been invited to partner with this initiative. At the Education Reform. I believe it is my experience as a diversity, equity, and inclusion practitioner that has actually got this invitation for CURB to participate on this particular unit. We find it to be very valuable, but also very informative for us, and to be a part of the inclusivity and culture unit just really fits well or suits CURB well, specifically because we are about ensuring that our cultural history is shared, and also it is about inclusion and inclusivity around not just race, but to ensure that all the core cultural identifiers are covered when we're looking at inclusivity and cultural responsiveness within the Education Reform.
Awesome. So tell me about the work you've done so far and how you see that impacting the lives of our students and assisting them as they do their educational journey.
So what I have found with this team, which is a very great team that I'm working with, I've met some wonderful people, is that from sitting on the outside and everybody else having worked in the Ministry of Education or, on this reform unit, and being that one person that hasn't worked in there, I can identify some of the gaps or some of the communication needs that that need to be addressed.
Okay.
Right? And so in particular, language. So about using the right language, the right words when we are talking about different students and differences in people. Also adding that piece about family structure there, one of the core cultural identifiers that we don't often talk about. And I believe with this particular unit, family structure is so important because we are talking about all of the various forms of families that enter into our system. Because it's not just about the students, it's about the whole student and their life. And inclusivity means getting to know them, getting to know them at a level and building relationships at a level where we know what we need to do to make sure that everybody has a sense of belonging.
Awesome.
The conversation will continue in a moment.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
On the evidence of the personalized learning experience and curriculum design, we will include assessments that demonstrate what our children know and what our children can do, what is culturally relevant for our children, formative assessments that speaks to their experiences and the observations of their real world experiences, not just in Bermuda, but globally.
I am proud to be a part of the team that is working to shift the educational system to address the needs of our young people now.
This is Education Reform Bermuda.
What are your hopes in terms of the impact that you see this stream making in terms of signature learning programs, in terms of reform as a whole across our year levels, the kind of impact you'd like to see happen with our young people and their families?
I am hoping for a greater sense of community, a greater sense of relationship that we have with our students and their families. I'm looking for that piece where students, where teachers build that real connection so that we can adequately provide the educational tools needed for every student. It's so important, right? Another reason that we are there is to impart our knowledge around restorative practice. And as a restorative practitioner myself, helping to provide language and framework around restorative practice has been so, I think, rewarding for the team, but valuable for both of us as partners.
So Stacey, for the benefit of our audience members, tell us a bit about restorative practices.
Thank you. So restorative practice is about building relationship, building community, and restoring harm. And over 2,000 schools across the world have taken restorative practice on, and it's growing daily. So what it is in schools is educators taking the time to get to know, build relationship with their students, and so that they can adequately respond. So for example, say a teacher has a classroom of students and one of the students has their hair done on the table that day, like they're just sleeping. So she says, so-and-so, go out of the room. She is not taking the time to find out the why that child is sleeping. They could have had a really bad night with some disruption in the home, something, that has caused that concern. And so rather than talk with the student, they're just punitive right away. So restorative practice means, let's find out why this student is acting this way, right? It's not so much about that doer, it's about the behavior and why. And so having that conversation with that student is more restorative. So now she can find out the why and see how she can assist that student. Because if you just send them out the room, you're not going to be able to assist that student, right? So we have to think restoratively and how to repair any harm that is caused. And so with restorative practice, there should be proactive conversations and building relationship 80% of the time. If you do that, then 20% of the time should be dealt with conflicts, right? So we have to make sure we have that balance and make sure that we're being proactive enough so that we don't have to deal with so many conflicts and disruptions to educating our students. So restorative practice is not just another tool to put on teachers. It's a framework. So think about it as this is the toolkit or the garage for all the other things you do, because you might already be restorative. You may be doing some of these practices, but it is the framework that all of that should fall under.
So you've given me some clarification. Even with my understanding of restorative practices in terms of doing a lot on the front end, and it is that relationship building, but they're knowing how to manage things if conflict arises.
So less punitive, more restorative.
Absolutely. Less punitive, more restorative. What can you say to teachers and parents? And more importantly, what can you say to our community members out there? You are coming here as a community member. Yes, you do represent CUR, but as a community member to be a part of this process, to be a part of the work. What can you say to our community members in terms of what you get out of this, and also the importance of being a part of this process to help affect the change we are looking to make?
It's so worth looking at the counter narrative, because we know that the narrative out there and the perception of the Ministry of Education, or even education reform and this transformation is out there, and that it's a negative one that spreads, but we're not delving or thinking critically enough about what education really means for for our students and for the wider community. It's not a them and us. It is a community effort. And if we all start to switch that narrative and be more positive about this and the outlook for it, I think that we'll see true transformation. There's one thing I want to add there is when we think about change and the acceptance of change, we all have to personally reflect and think about the facts, because the actual information is there, right? We have engaged the community. We have engaged the teachers. We've engaged even students. But we're so ready to just put up barriers. I think if we let down some of those barriers and see what education truly means for our students and for each student, for every student, because that's what the inclusivity part is about, that we're meeting the needs of each and every student to reach their full potential. And if we put up barriers to that, then we're a part of the problem. So we need to self-reflect and think about how we can support. And that's why I'm readily able to support the education reform, to see what I can do, because I'm not going to sit back.
Stacey,
because it's about our children.
Thank you. Wow, I really appreciate you coming here as a community member with your authenticity and your genuineness and speaking truth to power today for everybody to be involved. And I'm taking away from this, it's so important for everyone to just be open and explore the counter narrative of what education is about. Thank you so much for being a part of Building Bridges.
You're welcome.
We will be right back.
Hi, my name is Anya Burns. I'm 10 years old and I go Purvis Primary. I like dance because I've been dancing since I was 2, and my family likes dancing too, and I dance with my family, and I also dance with UDP. The fun things that I learned at school was fractions, also math, and I also love social studies because in social studies we learn about Bermuda. And I go in P7. I can't wait to meet new people, but I'm still gonna miss my friends.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Building Bridges. Remember, together we can build a brighter future for Bermuda's youth. I'm Laurel Burns. See you next time.